just to quickly introduce the profession, basically PR is a part of communication strategy. And this is the thing most of the people forget, that PR doesn't exist outside of the whole infrastructure or the whole ecosystem which communication is normally. And when you have a fashion brand or an agency, it's just absolutely important to remember that it's working all together, and especially today. Because if we really look back in the days where you had on the magazines or TV or radio, the communication was quite, I would say, one-sided, because there was a fashion house that was translated the show, and honestly, there was like no much communication. You were showing the show, and then that was pretty much it. You never had an exchange. And this is what is different today, that PR management is taking care of literally an exchange between the audience, the journalist, of other industry players. And the funny thing that you have way more means to communicate with people around. So you have social media, you have advertising. For example, you have all the banners you see outside on the city, or all the paid media all the videos you can see on YouTube. And today you're not only talking with journalists, you're not only talking with influencers, you're just working inside all of this. And the moment the industry changed, I think it just became so important to have something to communicate on. This is why we don't only speak about shows anymore, even though, for example, for me, it's like the best example. Because as a agency person, I'm mostly taking care of the shows. So I organize the défilé, as we call them in Paris. And but today you have multiple other ways to introduce yourself. Of course, probably if you're already having a brand or you're already working in this business, you probably became quite familiar with social media. Probably you became quite familiar with showrooms, pop-up stores, all these other different means to find your target audience and to show yourself and to present yourself and make yourself visible. But I think the most important question when people thinking about PR is, what do we actually do? So first and most important issue, yes, we talk with journalists and we talk with people who would actually have, will have a possibility, who have an option and the power to write about you. But it's not even sometimes it's not even the goal, because I think today it's way wider. It's just become known among right people, among the people you want to have in your crowd, in your community. And so before you actually start to look for a PR, I feel like it's like always too important to answer like these three questions that I listed here. Do you actually have something to communicate on? So this is the primal thing. Because in my experience, I had a couple of clients that were they wanted to have a PR on board, and I was quite curious to work with them because it was quite niche Japanese brand. They were very intellectual, and they were releasing 1-2 collections per year. No drops, no special collaborations, actually nothing that. And it was part of the strategy, which was I respected it, but in the end of the day, if you deciding to proceed and to choose this path, this is probably important to think about double. But do you actually need a marketing manager, or do you actually need a communication person? If your goal, if your strategy is not to show yourself around, yeah, that would make sense. But just don't think about PR in this way, and try to probably think about someone who would be more on the placement side, on the marketing side, on the sales side. But if in case you want really take this opportunity and speak about your image more, you should really think through your content strategy. So basically today, the shift I see today is that most of the brands becoming producers of content themselves rather than just magazines or media. So think about this double, because like if you're engaging in this, you should be
This is an extract from a live event at Simone Business Club. So if you want to know more, check the link in the description.